Imagine this. At this very moment, you hold the power to transform your life's greatest challenges into your most profound victories. But how, you might ask? Today we dive deep into the heart of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has empowered individuals to thrive in adversity and find serenity amidst chaos for centuries. Think about the last time you faced a situation that tested your patience or shook your confidence. How did you respond? Were you a prisoner to your immediate reactions, or did you choose a response that reflected your deeper values and convictions? This is where Stoicism shines, guiding us to respond to life's challenges with courage, wisdom, and equanimity. Today, we're diving into a profound concept that has its roots in ancient wisdom yet remains strikingly relevant in our modern world: the art of training your mind to respond, not react. This concept isn't just about controlling your temper or keeping your cool in challenging situations. It's about cultivating a deep-seated sense of awareness, a grounding in the present moment that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and intention. The Stoics, ancient philosophers known for their practical approach to life, had a lot to say about this. They believed that while we might not have control over the events that happen to us, we do have control over how we interpret and respond to these events. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, encouraging a detachment from external circumstances and an anchoring in our own reason and choices. It's this Stoic wisdom that can inspire us to pause, reflect, and choose a course of action that is reasoned and deliberate rather than impulsive and reactive. But why is this important? Well, think about how much of our stress, regret, and frustration comes from knee-jerk reactions to things people say or do. Now imagine if instead you could remain calm, centered, and thoughtful, even when the world around you is anything but. This isn't just about improving your peace of mind. It's about becoming a more effective, compassionate, and resilient person, qualities that can transform not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. In our conversation today, we'll explore various strategies that draw from both modern psychology and Stoic philosophy to help you develop this responsive mindset. We'll look at how to cultivate mindfulness, the importance of identifying and expressing your emotions constructively, and how to keep the bigger picture in mind, a perspective that the Stoics excelled at. By the end of this discussion, you'll have a toolkit of strategies to help you pause, assess, and respond thoughtfully to whatever life throws your way. So let's embark on this journey together, learning to anchor ourselves in the wisdom of Stoicism and the power of our own minds to choose our responses, transforming our experiences and interactions for the better. Take a moment to picture yourself serving as a guard at the entrance to your very own personal citadel. Your inner tranquility, your physical health, and your emotional safety are all represented by this citadel. Without a doubt, awareness is the first line of defense in the process of protecting this fortress as well. In the same way that a watchful guard has to be able to notice potential dangers, you need to be able to recognize the indicators that a toxic individual is approaching you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was a proponent of reason and self-control, tells us, "It is not what happens to you that upsets you, but your judgment of what happens." It is especially important to keep this piece of advice in mind while dealing with toxic people. It is not the case that their negative attitudes and manipulative acts have the ability to exert force over you. Your emotional reaction to these activities and how you perceive them are the factors that determine the effect that they have on your sense of inner peace. Put yourself in the shoes of Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor of Rome. In order to rule a wide empire, one needed to possess power, knowledge, and unyielding determination. When it comes to strengthening the walls of your own inner citadel, often known as your emotional well-being, these same attributes are vital. Undoubtedly, the boundaries that you have established are the foundation of this citadel. When dealing with toxic people, boundaries are the obvious lines that you create in the sand to demarcate your boundaries. They determine the kinds of conduct that you will and will not approve of. You should not permit toxic people to intrude on your emotional territory. Consider a ferocious emotional barbarian who is driven by pessimism and is looking for a dramatic conflict. There are some toxic folks who act in this manner. They rely on attention and your emotional response, and their negativity thrives on that in the hopes of eliciting a response. The Stoic ideals of emotional regulation and indifference to external stimuli served as the inspiration for the grey rock method, which comes into its own as a strong instrument in this context. Imagine being subjected to a never-ending onslaught of manipulation, a toxic individual chipping away at your boundaries through deceptive arguments and emotional ploys. Being subjected to such a persistent onslaught can be both emotionally tiring and unpleasant. The Stoic principles of unshakable reason and perseverance serve as the inspiration for the broken record technique, which emerges as a potent defense when used. This method involves patiently repeating a clear declaration about your position, similar to how a broken record skips on the same unshakable message. Imagine a skilled angler who is casting a line that is baited with negative thoughts in the hopes of catching you in a whirlpool of all kinds of emotional drama. This is the strategy that many toxic people use. However, the Stoic philosophy provides a great defense, which is indifference. This is not the same thing as apathy, rather it refers to the state of being emotionally detached from something. The Stoics, particularly philosophers such as Epictetus, made a distinction between apathy and indifference. In their opinion, apathy was a state that characterized a lack of concern and a state of listlessness. The concept of indifference, on the other hand, refers to a disconnection from the unpleasant feelings and judgments that distort our own reason. Imagine somebody who is a verbal gladiator, someone who is a master of insults and barbs and who thrives on the heated back and forth of an argument. There are some toxic folks who call this domain their home. They use words as weapons with the intention of inciting anger, humiliating you, and ultimately luring you into their emotional sphere. Presented here is a Stoic strategy that is not only effective, but also frequently underappreciated: the art of the non-reaction. When deployed in a planned manner, silence has the potential to be an effective weapon against the lethal verbal assault by causing a disruption in the dynamic that they want. Imagine that you are inside your walled citadel where your mental health is being painstakingly preserved by strict boundaries during the entire process. However, even the most sturdy walls are not able to totally protect you from dangers that come from the outside. Contaminated individuals, just like persistent intruders, may nevertheless make an effort to penetrate your safeguards. The Stoic idea of controlling what you can control comes into play at this point in the discussion. For you, although you are unable to control the actions of toxic people, you are able to manage the amount of time you spend with them. Just for a moment, picture yourself serving as a guard at the entrance to your inner castle. Your walls have been strengthened with boundaries. You have perfected the art of non-reaction, and you have reduced the number of toxic people you are present with. How, however, in order to fully defend their position, even the most courageous warrior requires a powerful flank, which is a formation of trustworthy allies. Your support system is your Stoic flank, an essential component in ensuring that you maintain your inner serenity when you are engaged in the fight against negativity. Making contact with toxic individuals is analogous to being confronted with an unrelenting assault in combat. The emotional energy that you have is depleted, and you may end up feeling exhausted as a result. When it comes to protecting yourself against negativity, self-care becomes an essential component, much as a Stoic warrior would make it a priority to tend to their wounds and sharpen their blade after a battle. Your Stoic style of living should include self-care as a fundamental component. Include it in your daily routine and think of it as an investment in your mental well-being. Picture yourself with a dark cloud looming over you, spewing out negativity and obscuring your view of the outside world. When you're working with toxic people, you will frequently encounter situations like this. They create a poisonous environment by projecting their own worries, insecurities, and issues onto those around them, which results in people being affected negatively. The concept of prupapia, which is rooted in Stoic philosophy, serves as a formidable defense mechanism in this context. We are encouraged to view ourselves as intelligent observers who are standing outside of the emotional tornado. The desire to mend, to heal, and to engage in the role of a therapist can be powerful, particularly when you're confronted with a person you care about who engages in behaviors that are harmful to others. On the other hand, in the sphere of Stoicism, this road frequently results in frustration and a depletion of one's own emotional reserves. When it comes to cultivating transformation, toxic individuals, like plants that are suffocated by weeds, require their own willpower and work. This transition cannot be compelled by any means. Imagine if you are looking for safety amid the tranquility of your Stoic castle of refuge. You have developed your emotional detachment and you have planted a healthy inner garden. You have also strengthened your walls by establishing limits. Nevertheless, in spite of your best efforts, the negativity that comes from a toxic individual continues to remain, posing a threat to your defenses. The ability to recognize when it is appropriate to withdraw from a situation is a fundamental Stoic precept. Making the decision to leave a toxic relationship, particularly one that involves close family members or co-workers, can be a decision that is extremely difficult to make. Prioritizing your mental health, on the other hand, is of the utmost importance. Consider the following scenario. You are about to embark on a lengthy journey and you are carrying a hefty bag that is full of hatred and fury toward a toxic individual. The weight of this responsibility slows you down, preventing you from making progress and draining your energy. Within the Stoic framework, forgiveness is defined as the process of releasing one's emotional baggage, not for the sake of the other person, but for one's own sake. The Stoics placed a strong emphasis on the significance of accepting things that are beyond our ability to control, with the actions of other people serving as a notable example. Thank you for joining us on this journey to understanding how to deal with toxic people using Stoic principles. Remember, every moment is a choice, a chance to embody the calm, the resilience, and the wisdom of Stoicism in the tapestry of life. Your responses are threads of your character woven with intention and purpose. Explore the Stoic life in style. Check out our Stoic bookstore for apparel, home decor, and accessories inspired by timeless wisdom. Shop now via the link below and carry the philosophy with you, wherever your journey leads.